Hey viewers, this last summer I bought this Trek 820, and one of the issues it had when I bought it was that the shocks were just seized. They're RST 191 CS shocks. They're pretty low-end shocks. I took them apart, attempted to rehabilitate them, and they're just so messed up inside that they're garbage right now. So I'm going to go ahead and replace them. I bought these shocks. They're Suntour M3030 shocks. They're actually a better quality shock than what was on here. So I'm going to replace these shocks with these shocks, and I'm going to show you the whole process of doing that. The first thing I wanted to do is when I bought these shocks, when I was hunting around on eBay for them, I wanted to make sure that they had the brake bosses on there. Some of the new shocks are set up only for disc brakes. These ones had the Boss for like cantilever brakes on there, and also it had the same diameter fork tube, steer tube, and also I wanted a steer tube that was as long or longer than the one that was on here to begin with. I'm going to start off by removing the front wheel, so release the brakes there, release this here, loosen these, the skewer, and drop the wheel down. Next, I want to remove these brakes here. So they're just these bolts. I don't need to cut the wire or anything like that. I'm just going to pull the brakes off. And put those aside. Next, I want to remove this cap here. Just completely remove it. And put that aside. Next, I can remove the handlebars. I just need to loosen these clamp bolts here. They're tight, and that I just need to loosen them, and then I can slide the handlebars off like that, and then I'm just going to drape them back here out of the way. Now I'm going to remove these spacers here, just get those out of the way, and then pull this off like a little seal, and then there's a wedge down there. I got to get this wedge out of there. How that's done is I want to take the steer tube, pound it down through there. So I'm going to use like just a wooden mallet here and tap down on there. Now what I can do is just from the bottom push up, and then that releases the wedge there. So now I can just slide the fork straight down and out. Now I want to remove the crown race from the old fork, and we'll try, see if there's enough lip here to get it with a screwdriver. Just kind of tap it down, flip it around, see if there's enough here to kind of get and kind of walk the crown race off the fork. So you see it's starting to come off there. So I just kind of go back and forth, back from side to side. Now if it doesn't come off like this, if you can't quite get a good grip on it there, then you're going to need a regular crown race puller, and you're probably best off going to a bike shop and having them do it, or because that's an expensive tool. But usually you can get off with like a screwdriver and hammer, just tapping it like that. Now I want to measure the old steerer tube, and that measures looks like about 8 almost 8¼ inches there. So measure this one, and okay, cool, it's about the same. I thought this was actually longer than this one, but this works out. It's about the exact same length. So here's the new forks, and I've got the crown race. So I'm going to slide this down onto there, and I need to press that down on there. So I have a homemade tool. It's a piece of PCV pipe. I can drop this over here like this, and with a mallet, I'll tap down on this. And press the crown race down onto the steerer tube. So that's all set like that now. Now to keep everything from like corroding and stuff in the future, I'm gonna put a thin coating of grease on the steerer tube. Just a thin one, just all over that like this. And it's always good to have a layer of grease between like any aluminum parts and steel parts, and just like that. And if it's steel, it'll just help keep it from rusting like that. So now the bearings seem to be integrated into the headset here, the cups, so I'm not going to really mess with those. If they were caged bearings, I pull them out, clean them off, and lube them up, but these seem to be moving fairly smoothly like that. So slide that up there, and I've got the little wedge part here, so I'm going to slide this down here, and then that gets pressed down into there. Then I have this little cap part that I pulled off of there, so I'm going to slide that onto there like that. And try to get that all pressed down in there like that. Now I can go ahead and put the spacers on. So I'll slide these spacers on like this. And then I can slide the handlebars back on, the stem like that. And there's already a star nut inside the fork tube there, so I don't have to install one. So I can put this little top cap on there like this, and then just tighten this down somewhat. I'm not going to tighten it down a whole lot right now, and just sort of tentatively tighten this at the moment. Now I'm ready to reinstall the brakes. I'm going to put a little bit of grease down on these pivot posts here, so the brakes will turn nice and smoothly on there. Just a thin bit. Then I'll take the one side, put them on there, and there's a little pin here, and the pin will go into the hole there. So just fit it right there. And then I've got the mounting screw here, and then I'll just tighten this down like that. Make sure it moves nice and smoothly. And I can bring the other side down here like this, and slide this on again, get the little pin in the hole there, mount, put the screw in there, and then tighten that in, and those move nice and smoothly like that. And then I'll remount the wheel here, connect the brakes here. Okay, I've got the front wheel mounted, and I have it on the ground now, so I can kind of compress the shocks there. And so now what I want to do is adjust this top cap. So I have the stem somewhat loose, and so what I'm going to do is tighten down this cap here. And what I want to be able to do is have it so that it turns nice and smoothly, but that if I shake the thing back and forth, I don't have play in the headset there. And that actually feels pretty good like that. So what I'll do is I'll straighten the handlebars there, then tighten these two little clamp bolts here on the stem. and tighten that cap. And that feels pretty good. There you go, basic lesson in how to replace shocks on a mountain bike. It's not that difficult. There could be different variations depending on what kind of shocks you have and what headset and everything like that. Some headsets have just more parts in there, but you basically just have to keep track of the parts as you pull them out. But overall, it's really not that difficult to replace shocks on a mountain bike. Anyway, I hope you found that useful or interesting. If you did, please click like on the video. I always appreciate getting likes on my videos, and it helps me out. If you're not subscribed to my channel, click the subscribe button and you'll see new videos as they come out. And I'm also over on Facebook, RJ the Bike Guy. Go over there, like my page, and I post a lot of stuff over there. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.